Sydney's New Year's Eve celebrations will go ahead as planned after the New South Wales government was able to stave off the threat of further industrial actions by the combined rail unions. New South Wales political reporter Julia Bradley is there for us in Sydney. Julia, what was decided this morning?
Well, Trudy, this was all decided in a hearing at the Fair Work Commission this morning. Essentially, Sydney Trains and prominent hospitality businesses have withdrawn their application against the Rail, Tram and Bus Union in the Fair Work Commission because they've reached an agreement with the union, and the agreement is that the union does not carry out further industrial action which will disrupt train services over the New Year's Eve period, and also that they do not carry out further industrial action which will pose a risk to staff, passengers or members of the public. Now, this is a dispute which is about pay. The union for months has been calling for a pay rise for its workers of 32% over 4 years, something that the government has refused to budge on. And as a result, we've seen the combined rail unions undertake this industrial action, which has taken many forms, including restricting the number of kilometres that train drivers can drive within a certain shift, and this is something which typically leads to cancellations and delays. The concern was that this was going to happen on a much bigger scale on New Year's Eve, which is one of the biggest nights in Sydney, certainly for the economy. So the government lodged this application in the Fair Work Commission to try to shut it all down. Today, the government keen to paint this as a win.
New Year's Eve train services will now run as planned. Families can come to the city with confidence, have safe and reliable travel, business can plan ahead and staff can get to work. This is what we have been working towards all along.
So the government's application to Fair Work hinged on a number of things. Firstly, the government argued that if this planned action goes ahead on New Year's Eve, then there would be a major hit to the New South Wales economy and it would be really bad for businesses. The other thing is they were concerned about safety. If we were to see hundreds of potential cancellations and delays of train services, then we could, according to the government, see more of a risk of crowd crushes or antisocial behaviour if revellers become frustrated at those disruptions. Now we've heard that we will not see that action going ahead as planned over New Year's Eve. We've heard from businesses who've spoken about what this means for them.
It truly is the best show in Sydney, the best show in the country, and our harbour party is the front row view to the fireworks. So for us, potentially that being impacted would have been quite catastrophic, and we're really pleased that now common sense prevailed today and we're going to have a really great New Year's Eve.
Now, in an interesting development late last night, the union actually pulled 8 of its most disruptive work bans. So this did mean that we wouldn't see disruptions on the scale that had initially been planned anyway, regardless of the outcome of that hearing this morning. However, this is only really a short-term solution, the union threatening further action if its demands aren't met after New Year's.
We call on the Minns government to stop talking to their lawyers and start talking to their workers. The Minns government should be back at the bargaining table on Boxing Day, and they should be trying to get resolution for this agreement before New Year's Eve.
And we'll hear from the New South Wales opposition this hour. They're concerned about events which will be carried out in January, whether there will be disruption then.
Yeah, lingering uncertainty into the new year, Julia. Thank you.